Slay click.
Welcome to Burning Metal Shooting the Breeze, episode 28. In this episode, I'm joined by Ren, Marabou, and the Berserkers. How are things, lads?
Absolutely brilliant, brother.
How you doing, Phil?
The whole Ren, Marabou, and the Berserkers project, it's a strange one, isn't it? Because if there hadn't, if there hadn't been a lockdown, would there be a Ren, Marabou, and the Berserkers?
I don't think so. Well, it's weird. I mean, it's really strange because I met the boys just before lockdown, and I saw them playing, and in my head I was like, I want to play music with these boys, and I was in a band at the time, and for some reason it just blurted out my mouth. I said it to you. It blurted out my mouth. I want you to play on my solo stuff, and I had nothing in mind for a solo. Nothing. Like, I was very happy in Paralysis and all the boys then. It was just weird, and then all of a sudden lockdown, bam. And whatever, 6 months later, was it, boys? I wrote to them when we were allowed outside the front door. I was like, let's play some music. And at that stage, I had been away from Dublin and Paralysis for that long that everybody kind of moved on to their own thing. And it was actually Mo that said to me, dude, get your band sorted up where you're living now, up in Donegal. And I was like, thanks, bro, I'll do it. He was happy for me to, continue on. And there we are. I was like, I think I said to you before, Phil, I was like, it was like an episode of Mask, the TV show back in the 80s. I was like, I called on the best of the best in the area, and they came flying in on helicopters and shit. And within the one day we had a band. It was absolutely killer. Like,
yeah, it was us. Because during the lockdown, man, you went so many different directions. You were kind of like Deftones-y and everything, and then all of a sudden you were Ren, Marabou, and the Berserkers. It's working well, but it was to be honest. When I know you so long, I never would have thought you'd have ended up in a Viking kind of Norse metal band. To be honest with you,
Man, lockdown done some strange things to people.
It worked out well for you anyway, and of course, today you released your new EP, but before we touch on that, we're going to touch on you've done a big tour, should I say, with Vader and Hate around Scandinavia, which must have been fucking unreal. Like,
it was sick, wasn't it, lads?
Amazing.
I mean, the minute we got the call, there's a video. I must send it to you later on, do it privately. When we got the call that we were, being asked to play this tour, I was on my way to Kildare in the car. And I pulled over on the side of the road, and we're the mead company. I'm sure you've heard of it. Anybody hasn't? We're ambassadors for this mead company, and I just pulled out a bottle on the side of the road, and I ran up to this big statue of a horse and a chieftain on a horse. I just sent a message to our managers and was like, "Yeah, we did it!" And it was just like a big victorious kind of moment. So yeah, we were really excited, and the whole build up was incredible. Everybody gave us so much support, like the amount of interviews and write ups in the paper and everything that we got, and we kind of felt like we were local heroes for a while. It was really nice. So the tour itself, boys.
Look, it was Phil. It was amazing. Like Ren has toured before. I haven't. This was my first tour, so for me it was a learning experience. Just watching how other bands interacted with each other, how they went about their daily business, how business-like they were too. Really impressed me. The bands that we were with, like Vader, Hate, Die Disease, those guys were professionals. They were up early in the morning. They were talking to caterers, and they were organizing venues, and they're making sure everything was in place. And it really wasn't what I expected, but I was really impressed by how ship it all was, And the 2 weeks that we were there, it was just a really nice evolution of getting to know the guys in the other bands and learning stuff from the other drummers too. But remarkable experience,
The musicianship on display, bro, was absolutely outrageous. we were trying not to fanboy. We were just trying to be as professional as possible, but it was hard. It was really hard. Like Peter from Vader was chatting to us one morning over a cup of coffee, and I taught him how to say milk in Irish. He was looking for milk, and there was like, oh man, there was lads running around sorting stuff out for us, and I said, he wants some banya. And he goes, what's banya? I said, milk. And he goes, banya. And but they were all so down to earth and really cool, man. And we got to see a lot and got to experience a lot. And the shows are brilliant. I swear the Swedish people are the fucking nicest people in the world, and the Danes as well. I couldn't believe it. Like, they say the Irish are nice, like, but nah, these people are really thoughtful, aren't they?
Yeah, they're you can see it. The first show that we played was in Umeå, and there was this lovely young fella. He was in an accessible wheelchair. He didn't have great use of his legs, and everybody who was there was making room for him. They were going to the bar for him, and it's not something that you see often in crowded spaces where you get a group of people who are very, very mindful of somebody who's got a disability.
Mm-hmm.
But we could see that all the way through, that people were very attentive to things like that, but also to the performers. The audiences were very, very good. We'd heard certain things about maybe the audiences would be very standoffish, but they weren't. We didn't feel that they weren't. But I think a lot of that has to do with Ren. Ren's banter on stage is first.
It's universal.
He can talk to anybody. We could have an audience of sheep and goats, and he would have them talking, singing. He would have them singing back.
Oh, we have played to sheep and goats and cows and so. But no, that's it. They got the crack. They understood what we were, and sure, we had them singing back to us on a lot of songs like "Let's Drink Mead." The audiences every night were singing it, so they were up for getting into a bit of participation and stuff. It was nice. We done the tour with a company called Creative Music, and a lot of the guys are actually in Die Disease. So not only are they running this kick-ass company with this massive nightliner tour bus and super professional, but they're in a killer band as well, like, and they were ripping it up, like absolutely tearing the place apart every night. And then we had these really cool guys from Florida, which is where our label is from. So we're going to try and hook up with them, Noctambulant. Them boys are absolutely lovely. They're from Jacksonville,
yeah.
Up at the top part of Florida, and our label is down the bottom in Tampa. So we're going to get over there hopefully next year, at the end of the year, and work some kind of shows with the boys. But it was just an amazing experience, and the guys from Hate were just absolute gentlemen.
Super cool.
Oh man,
really cool.
It was a surreal experience to be standing there, talking about, just normal things and having the crack with these boys that I've listened to, forever. And like, I have a Vader tattoo there, and I couldn't even bring myself to show. I couldn't bring myself to show any of them,
In case, like.
It was just like, I had a conversation with Michael, the drummer, on the tour bus one night, and he's new to the band, but he's absolutely phenomenal, right? But I was saying to him, I was like, dude, I'm really, trying not to fanboy here. And he goes, oh, I totally get it. He says, when I joined the band first, I was like, oh, I just couldn't believe it. Like, I was like, I know. I was like, listen, man, if you see me losing it, just kind of give me an elbow here. Listen. But like the likes of Spider, the guitar player, Marek, his guitar playing was amazing. I don't think I've ever seen somebody live and for consecutive nights to just blow me away guitar wise. And Dom from Hate is also an incredible guitar player, and he let me use his equipment. He let me use his pedals and his amp and everything, and he was so accommodating, man. Like, I had my own gear, but he was just like, oh no, use that. And I was like, he goes, if you want to work. I was like, yes, please. And it was incredible, like absolutely incredible. So the whole experience, the you know, the bouncing around on the tour bus. We went underwater at one stage. There was like the only way to get from Denmark to Sweden, I think. It's under the sea. Yeah, it was under the sea, right? And it was only when I woke up the next morning, Terence goes, "We were under the sea last night." I was like, "Oh fuck, really?"
not swimming.
Yeah.
Ah,
No, you know, when you're in the bunks, you can't see out the window, so you don't know where it is. You lose track of time. And
Yeah, like the upstairs on the nightliner bus. It's like a big black sarcophagus. You know, you can't see shit.
he had a window. He almost like a window seat, because he was at the front. I was down the back. Poor Cass had Spider above him and Peter across from him, so he had to be really. I would have been shitting him, man. I would hate that. You try not to make any noise, and it was comical. It was an incredible experience, and like I can't wait to go back to those countries just to experience the culture, because there was the town you spoke about, Umeå, Terence. I couldn't believe it, man. They had like you know, those motor scooters and fancy bicycles just left unlocked everywhere.
oh yeah.
You know, and nobody would touch it, and somebody would put, you know, you go on tour with some of your favorite bands, and the thing that really stands out to you is how nobody robs anything. You know,
they're so peaceful oriented, and they're so socially conscious.
Yeah,
and publicly spirited. You know, it's unusual coming from here to see that. You know, and the cities are spotless as well.
Even like Stockholm. Stockholm was a huge city. Which venue was in Stockholm again?
The Slaughterhouse.
Oh, yeah, the Slaughterhouse. Oh, yeah. So we played in a venue that was Hus 7, and it was an old slaughterhouse, and they kept it all the way it would have been, you know, with all the aluminium wall stuff, and the energy in the place was weird, man. You knew that there was so much death going on in this place, and we were backstage, and Hate were going on to play, and they had this ritual before they went on that absolutely just blew you away. You were standing there, and the four of them would be standing there, actually 3 of them be standing there with their guitars, ready to walk out on stage, and the drummer done like this opening thing when he playing by himself with this orchestral, very sinister sound with the flames on the stage and everything. And the boys were standing there really intense, and then they'd walk out, and we're just standing there going, we're in an old slaughterhouse watching these boys go on and do this, and we've after playing our set, and it was just fucking surreal, but it was intense. It was just unreal.
Yeah, it's hard. It was some nights it was hard to get your head around, you know, particularly the Slaughterhouse. That was a strange venue,
and it was in the middle of Stockholm, like a huge city, like, but it was really like, I don't know, very you felt safe. You know, like, I know we're fucking a bunch of crazy rockers and we're on a tour bus with even crazier rockers, but like it was weird. Like there was just something about those countries that just, you know,
special, very special,
very special.
Well, that's good to hear, because when I originally heard you were going out with those bands, my initial thought was like, Jesus Christ, what kind of reaction are you going to get when you get up on that stage? Like,
I know.
No, it could have it could have gone either way, like, really, couldn't it?
Yeah, I know. We were so lucky, because every time I looked out in the audience, there was lads with the Milners around their neck, and it kind of straight away put you in a comfort zone. You kind of knew that they understood, like they were there for much heavier music, but they loved it. Sure, one lad was crying when we gave him an autograph afterwards, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And oh man, it was crazy. I don't know. I just
I don't want to interrupt.
No, you're grand.
But Phil, I think there's a misconception in all kinds of music too. Yeah, like the other bands are death metal bands.
Yeah.
But if you go along and you give it 100%, and the audience feels that, you're gonna get a good reaction. You know, if you give it 110%, as we do every night, you know, we give it everything, and we were only on for, you know, half an hour, 40 minutes each night. But if you give it everything, people feel that, you know.
It's weird. I think we've evolved as a live band as well, since, you gave us our very first show, brother.
Yeah, I know.
Well, we can
Which-
actually be. That's one we can be proud of, lads, because that was
It is.
that was the first 4-band gig to happen in a year and a half, and it happened in a fucking shed near the bog in Roscommon.
Yeah, man.
I'll
The
never forget it.
Rossies.
It was a great night. I'll never forget it, actually.
That was gonna crack, all right. Yeah, it was a shame more people didn't turn up, but at that stage, people were still kind of getting used to the idea of being normal again, you know?
Yeah. People were freaked out, man. And I was standing there playing, and I was like, "This is fucking bizarre, man. This is like, what am I doing?" Like the place where I felt most comfortable in life just felt kind of strange, and it was only towards the end I felt like myself again. But since then, like we wear the Viking outfits, and we have the drinking horns and the makeup, and the war paint. It's not makeup. It's fucking blood. It's goat's blood that's blue because we spitting it.
It's hardcore.
Spitting it after eating blue lollies. Oh man, that's crazy. But I can't wait for you to see us play. With the vibe we have now. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good because, especially when you've been in scores in Scandinavia, you know, if the more Viking-y look, the more you probably would have resonated with them anyway. So that was in your favor as well too. And that's great to hear that the whole tour was. Unfortunately, though, there was on your end, Aaron, I will call you by your real name on this part of it. You had a very unfortunate event, of course.
I did, brother. And most people would know because I've made it public anyway because my father was my absolute idol. As we're sitting here, I have like a shrine to him over there below my Viking Norse mythology altar that I have. And he's there grinning on us. And actually, Cash, you wouldn't pass me over the book there on the shelf, just on the side here. So this show you what an incredible man my dad was. The day of his funeral, and I'll get to that point after, but this arrived at my house, and it's a book with all pictures from our tour, right, that he got made up for me. It was pictures that I'd sent him while we were away, and he just got this book made up while he was in hospital sick, dude. It says Ren Marabou and the Berserkers Scandinavian tour with Vader, September 2022. And it just shows what an amazing man he was. It was actually the picture on the front here with us and Vader was the last show we played on the tour. It was in Denmark, right?
Yeah, it was in Malmo.
Malmo.
Yeah.
And we played the show. It was one of my favorite shows of the tour, actually. Really cool venue. There was a giant fire engine, old school fire engine in Terence. Yeah. You probably saw the picture of him hanging out off it, and that was great crack. But I was going to charge my phone on the bus, and then Cass ran up to me and he goes, "And when you're upstairs in the tour bus, you can't really make noise in case somebody's sleeping, unless the bus is driving, and then they're all downstairs drinking and partying and then playing music. But when you're up on the top bunk, you have to be quiet." So he handed me the phone. I was like, "Oh, I can't talk, because there's one of the lads in the bunk." And he goes, "You have to answer it." And I knew something was up, so I ran out. It was me missus, my shield maiden Kathleen, that Phil, and she told me I have to get home because my dad only has a few days if we're lucky. It was cancer. It came out of nowhere, man. It came out of nowhere. It was only like I think he was only the day before I was told. I think that's when they were diagnosed. He was diagnosed, and then so literally I was like spaced out of it, and the boys were like, "Right, we have to bring you home." We had one show left on the tour, and the boys were like, "No, we'll have to bring you home." And I don't remember anything after that. The two boys looked after it. We were in Denmark, and then or Sweden, was it? Mm-hmm. And then we ended up, I don't know how we ended up in the airport in Denmark then to get home. It was crazy. The two of these just running around on the phone, organizing everything, dealing with the promoters on the tour and the tour manager and stuff, and just explaining. And they were really sound. Peter, from Vader, and Merrick and Michael gave us a hug and told us that we hope you're, and Adam from Hate, like he's like he seems like a dark character. He's in a band called Hate, and he's like ferocious as a death metal, black and metal artist. But he tried to console me really, really nice. It was sweet, man. It was, in his own way, like he didn't want to. Yeah. Anyway, it was nice. Anyway, I really appreciated it, man. So anyway, to make a long story short, we had to come home, and my dad died like 2 days later. But I got to talk to him. I got to talk to him about the tour, and he was like, "I'm so proud of you for the tour," and it just, before I left, I knew he wasn't well, but I didn't realize it. I knew he had cancer, but they told us that it wasn't even at a stage yet, So all of a sudden, then he's at like whatever stage 4, whatever the worst case is, and it's just crazy to have had such a surreal experience and then have the most surreal experience back to back, but we we've pulled it back together. I don't think it ever pulled apart. We've been.
No, it's very, very. I think it was very, particularly for Ren. It was very hard to go from the high of the tour to Miko dying. That's from one extreme to the other, and that's an emotional fall that's hard to fathom. But it just takes time.
I think. Yeah. I mean, I pull strength from what we do as a band and the things we write about, and my own Norse, my faith that I have in the gods. Every time I say that, I know it just sounds fucking crazy, like, but I get mad strength from it, bro. And I think of my dad. He was a pure warrior, and that's what this new EP is about. It's just songs about Odin, the Allfather. But we were rehearsing here this evening, and I was singing All Hail Odin, and I don't know what, my vocals have just gone into a whole other place now. I'm just, I don't know. I wouldn't call it agony, but I'm definitely singing more from a deeper place, if you get me. And yeah, it's weird. I got myself a new guitar, and I called it Mika after me dad. It's in a teal, same color, his favorite color. And I feel him like, oh man, I've been writing like a maniac, man. Like even worse than usual. I'm writing like 3 or 4 different styles of music at once. Like, it's just it's crazy. So, it's been a crazy time, but I think keeping the ball rolling was what he wanted. He wanted us to, because I swear he was so proud of all of us. Like, because the boys seen him just before we left on the tour as well, and he was the biggest supporter of my music my whole life. He bought me obviously my first guitar, my second, my third, my fourth, until I got a job and started doing my own thing. But even still, man, like I got my love for music from him, from the records that he used to play when I was a kid, Elvis, and he introduced me to the Beatles and AC/DC and all the goodies, So yeah, it's crazy, but we're more determined than ever. Like, a lot of people would find that it's impossible to go on. I think it would be impossible not to go on. It's like just full on. So that's what, the new EP is dedicated to Mika. We're actually talking about doing another album, and it would be even more dedicated to him. But I just felt like in this time, I wanted to put out something. So that's why it's only an EP with some tracks that were old, some tracks that are done up, and then King of Asgard is a totally new track. So yeah, it's just, it all kind of, everything just kind of has to keep moving, and we'll keep on trucking, and
Well, that's good to hear, because you were extremely prolific, and then you kind of went quiet for a while, which was completely to be understood after what happened. And I was kind of thinking, hopefully now this doesn't just take the wind out of your sails, but it clearly hasn't. So that's good to hear. Like,
it was weird. I did have a few people. I took the month,
of course.
I completely, I said to myself, I'll wait until the month's mine before I do anything music orientated. And even then, I had to force myself. I was like, no, I can't. It feels too soon. I was like, nah, I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to get this because we had such amazing momentum, and I didn't want to take it away from the boys either, or our management or the label. You know, even my missus, like, you know, who's my Sharon Osbourne, like she's put so much work into this band as well. It's a great family, and I didn't want to bruise it in any way because of this. But I think it's made us stronger in a way. So this is the first interview we've had since all of that, and there's been a few talk of other ones like, and I'm glad it's with you actually, bro, because you know, obviously we're buddies, so I feel comfortable talking. I feel like we're just having a chat. You see,
exactly.
I keep forgetting all this going to be out on the video soon.
No, it's all positive though, man. It's all positive. I know it's obviously it's not all positive. Your father passed, but you're taking the best you can possibly take out of the whole situation and trying to turn a negative into a positive.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Mecca will be on the new album in a lot of different ways. You know, he'll be there all the way through it, I would say.
Yeah, 100%. Like it's crazy, but you know, it's life, and I think if you're dealt a card like this and you can continue on, I think you're doing the right thing. You know, that's all I'm sort of looking at it, and I don't think we've sounded better. You know, like we were rehearsing today.
Tonight's rehearsals were fantastic. You know, I've been playing these songs for about a year and a half now, and I was adding little things tonight that I'd never added before. I thought, actually, that's better. You know, so there's always room to improve. You know.
Yeah, and some bitching new riffs and some new songs and stuff, and all good, man. Yeah.
So, will you drop the album this year, or are you going to trying to just do it more singles or EPs, or what's the overall plan?
Do you know, I have you in the back of my head a lot, bro. When you said to me one time, why don't you just release like a bunch of singles? And often that comes to my mind because, you know, I love putting an album together. You know, it kind of keeps me focused. But I do. I often have like a little fill in my head going, just release a single, man. And I don't know what track it was. Bloodlines. Yeah. It was like a 9-minute long song because I swear to God, man, I had Phil in my head saying, just release the single. So we just released the single, right? And the label wanted us. They do this every now and then. They want us to just drop a track, and I was always kind of not unsure about that. But yeah, I had you in my head, and I was like, no, but I'm gonna make it a long one so that it feels like it's fucking 3 songs, man.
Myself and Adrian were joking about that on their monthly roundup at the time. We were like, well, he couldn't release an album or an EP this month, so he just released a 9-minute long track instead.
I swear though, man, it was nearly 15 minutes at the start. I can't remember who it was. It was my missus, I think.
It was Kathleen. Yeah.
She maybe cut out a whole chunk in the middle, like, but sure, you know. So yeah, we might do a single or something.
Yeah, we've got a heap of songs. Bren's coming up with stuff in every day. I wrote a couple of tunes over the last week. There's a lot of stuff to go through. We're going to sit down and go through it all.
Yeah, I think we have so many other things in the pipeline that we're working on, different tours and stuff, and nothing's concrete as of yet. But I think while we decide, because we have a couple of options, while we decide what we're going to do, I think we're just going to write and record as much as possible. And even if we don't release them, I have this dream of being like Prince, where I have this, I'm not going to talk about my ribs or anything like that. This vault of music, just, you know, hidden away, where you could just pull out an album whenever you want, like, you know. That's my ultimate goal. But unfortunately, my hard drive is only small. It's just this little yoke here. So if I had a bigger hard drive, man, there'd be no fucking stopping me.
You can get a good one now, cheap enough.
Yeah.
You can get 2 terabytes for £100 easily.
Yeah.
No way. Well, there you go. That's the Christmas sort. You hear that,
Make,
Kathleen?
make sure now you don't have it all locked away like Prince, though. Make sure it's available, though.
Yeah.
Not under lock
Actually,
and key, like, and then completely robbed from the world. Like, it's not on YouTube or anything. None of his music, anyway, is it?
Yeah.
it's
That's
unreal.
that's bizarre. Like, you know, why when he was such an icon, why would you completely erase him? Like,
It's weird. Do you know, a better example would be Richie Kotzen. He's the same, and like he released. I think we spoke about this last time as well. He released an album called 50 for 50. It was on his 50th birthday, and it had 50 tracks on an album. So you know, that's something I aspire to.
you've got plenty of time to get up. to get the 50 songs together, anyway.
That's it. We'll live to our 100, and we'll have 100 for 100.
He'll have 50 songs on it, and then a 9-minute track.
That would have been 15 minutes if he misses it. Cut it short.
You've only got one more gig now this year, and that's it. Then you're wrapping it up then for this year.
Yeah, but because of everything that happened with my dad, I just thought, you know, I didn't want to put myself out too much. So we just, but this is a nice show. It's up the road and a beautiful venue, the Ballard Theatre, with a really cool band that's very different from what we normally do. They're called Makins, and
yeah,
yeah.
Are they back?
Yeah.
I thought they were gone.
Yeah, so they're actually doing really well now again. They've been
really?
Been on during the summer. They've done the whole circuit, festivals and everything. Like, so I think they were playing Stendhal, weren't they? We went to Stendhal.
They played Stendhal over in Limavady. They played Oakfest here in Donegal. They've done a shitload of other festivals and a few
that's
gigs
good.
as
I
well.
didn't know. I honestly thought they were long gone, to be honest.
Yeah.
No, they sent us an email a couple of months ago saying, "Look, do you want to do support 26th December?"
Yeah.
Class.
Let's see, not to leave the other band out. Let's have a look here.
And the other band that's playing is called Not That We Know.
Is it? Oh, is it?
I think so.
I was trying to find. It must be in a different group.
Yeah.
We'll just go with what Heron said, because I fucking can't work this phone.
You got a new phone.
I got a new phone, and it's fucking harder to use than fucking driving a truck. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but between now and Christmas, we'll get a more solid plan in place. Look, we've got gigs to organise. We've got the gig in December. We'll start pulling the songs together and maybe do a bit of recording.
I think we might focus on between now and probably March. We might focus on Irish shows. I do maybe like a little tour or something. We're still kind of spitballing what's the best route to take, but I kind of want to just go and hang out with my mates all over the country. You know, because from yourself, from spent me 20 years gigging in Ireland and getting to know people and stuff, and it would be nice after all this time with everything that's changed. It would be nice to get back out and see people and rock out over here. I mean, we've been doing shows up here and up in the north and stuff, but yeah, I think getting down further in the country is definitely on the cards for us in the next little while. Anyway.
Oh, very good, very good. Just get back out again, as you say, see people, and it's a lot of people are gone though, unfortunately, from the last few years though. Like, that's just, there's still people there, but a lot of them haven't come back, unfortunately, and but sure, you've find someone somewhere. Probably the West Coast punks and Galway probably have someone to talk to anyway.
Yeah, Galway's on our hit list, and Limerick, and I think.
Yeah, the West Coast punks, they're called. They're the ones taking over in Galway now, as such.
West Coast punks, yeah, cool, man.
Yeah, they're the ones to chat to, and I'd say probably Cork could be Dead Cult Promotions.
Yeah.
Evan, or not? What's his name?
Evan, yeah.
Evan, sorry, it is his name.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're definitely going to get on to Evan, actually. We've an interview with Metal Cell coming up as well. I don't know if Evan's going to be on that particular one, but I think Richie said to me about 2 years ago about going down to Cork and playing some shows, and I was like, yeah, I will. I'll be down. But it just seems real daunting. It seems further away to go to Cork than it does to Scandinavia. You know what I mean?
You have to drive all the way down there and all the way back up in a day.
All the way down. All the way yeah. Sure. Listen. We might get a limo down or something. Sit in the back of some champagne.
I might throw a duvet in the back of the van and sleep in it.
That's our limo. Yeah. The discount limo.
Vauxhall Couple.
Oh, you have a van for touring, you do?
Well, not really. I have a two-seater. It doesn't really suit us, but yeah, we need to get a slightly bigger van, just an extra seat.
A certain angle, you know, it's like those when you're going to buy a house and they make the room look really big. We can make it look fancy.
Volkswagen do a nice little Transit. It's bigger than a man van, but it's not as big as a really big one. It's kind of like a Scooby-Doo van. It would be perfect for us.
You're not going old school on it, so lads, with somebody just in the back, the one who draws the short straw anyway.
Well, we fell into a bit of difficulty on our way to the tour. This is where everything started going haywire. I put my foot down on my clutch in the car and I just stuck to the floor. And I was like, shit. And we were loaded up and ready to go to stay in my sister's gaff. And didn't work. But we then got a lend of Terrence's missus's car, small little car, and poor Cass got the short straw.
Yeah.
Stuck in the back seat.
Baggage all over me.
Yeah, man. It was like a whole tour worth of gear in a micro, like, you know. It was fucking comical.
The joys of it all, Anyways, we'll knock on a bit of your new track, The King of Asgard. We'll play it the whole lot. It's only 2.5 minutes long.
That's right. Nice and bro.
Here we go. There we go.
Mistakes. That's wild, sad. Okay.
And there we go. That's King of Asgard. That's a great song. Lads.
Yeah. Thanks, bro.
I really like that one now, to be honest.
Yeah, it's I think it's this EP is like every album kind of, it's like an evolution. It's almost like a like a fucking greatest hits, greatest shit sort of thing. It's just nice to show where we've come, the evolution, and you know, there's a whole other buzz going on even since that one. Like, so yeah, thanks, bro. Like, we've our whole idea now is to just make, you know, ones that people can engage with us, the audience, and you know, headbang, sing the chorus, but shit like that.
After going out on that tour, as we've already touched on, that would really kind of change your perspective on writing too, because for a long time you were writing from home because of all the reasons we won't go into again, and you know, when you get out on the road, you realize what works and what doesn't work.
It's crazy. I mean, the songs that really worked were the ones that were like you know, just anthem type songs. You know, people still love a good anthem, you know, a good sing along. So that's it. I think that's what we're gonna focus on now. Maybe do the odd kind of obscure, because I have too much weirdness. They're kind of weird too. Like we have a lot of weirdness we'd like to still put out there.
We all come up with lots of different kind of things. Some of it can be quite proggy, but we rein it in and pull it apart and stick it back together again, and it becomes a berserker song. It's a good system.
We could get really weird, like, I mean, like, so we do, like, even today we were jamming, and some of the stuff that comes out is just very Viking. I swear, if the boys let me, we'd be a glam rock or a hard rock fucking jazz band with a bit of blues thrown in. Like, I just love playing all styles of music, and it's just really hard to keep in the Viking kind of realm. I mean, already we don't really fit in because there's not enough folk elements. It's not heavy as a lot of it. We're trying to bring this contemporary sound to the Viking genre, but like also we're kind of just writing what we like to write and then singing. But some of the things just, I don't know, like I really want to make a track that's hard rock, like AC/DC shit, man. Just like a straight up banger of just like, you know, I might even like, you know, but there was one piece of music that I put together for Black Star Amps there. I posted it yesterday, and what you call it? It was just full on AC/DC shit. Classic rock. Yeah. And could you, I'm just saying to the boys today, I was like, I'm going to put some vocals singing about Odin or something on this now and just see what happens. It might sound preposterous, like, but, you know, give it a go. I'll let you listen to it first, bro. You can tell me, no, man, you're going too far.
But it's good to try and stretch the boundaries of the genre that you're working in.
Yeah.
And I think we are already, because we're actually quite accessible, quite catchy. But if we were to become more catchy, more accessible, would that work? We don't know, but it's kind of interesting to try, you know.
Yeah, man, we could be playing fucking pop music next, like singing about Valhalla, fucking Britney Spears style, like, you know.
But at least we know, at this stage, we know what works live in front of a death metal audience. So we have a good idea of what's working live.
The weird thing was that it wasn't even the heaviest songs that got the most, because we have some songs that when we play live, like Serpent Circles and stuff, and Goddess of the Underworld, there's a more kind of modern-esque style to that, metal almost, and there's a good heft behind them, and people enjoyed it, but they really enjoyed the likes of Let's Drink Mead and Storm on the Beach. Well, Storm on the Beaches. We're gonna revamp a lot of the old songs, and we have a really cool producer that we're wanting to work with. I'm not gonna say anything just yet, but the future us are gonna be really excited. And it's something that we've been wanting to do for a while. So I don't know how many releases we're gonna release in our current sort of setup, but we definitely have bigger ideas coming up, you know, so it's gonna get bigger.
Oh, that's good to hear. And Like especially everything that happened over the last few years between lockdowns and everything. There's so many things that could have just derailed everything, but you've the whole way through. You've just kept going and kept going, and look at the rewards you've got. You've got that big tour already. Like you've passed 100,000 streams on Spotify. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
like, fucking hell, dude. That's a lot of people listening to your music. Like,
Yeah,
that,
we you know what? That's the label. I have to give props to Big Sean, United Music Mafia, and them boys are constantly plugging away. To have a label where you've constant communication every single day, those boys write to us, and they're just absolutely brilliant. We're chatting about going to America this last while, and that's gonna just blow my mind. I've never been to America. Like I don't know what the boys have done in America or not. Like we won't get into that, but like, it would be incredible to go to America to play music and to play music to a label that's brought us over there, and to play with guys that we played on tour with in Scandinavia. It's just crazy, man. And like I said to you, like everything is just, we're lucky. I'd be happy for things to be just us in a room here, and it's just nice that there's people out there that want to hear what shite I'm talking about, or look at our pictures and listen to us on Spotify and stuff. It's just cool. It's really cool. I have to give props to our management as well, Taj and Kimo from Split Screen. Again, we're chatting to them every day. We're always strategizing, trying to come up with plans, and most of the time when we have an idea, they're happy to just let's see if we can make this work. I mean, we've talked to some people, promoters that are running shows with really big bands that just doesn't make any sense for us, and they're listening to us, and they're happy to put it forward and stuff, and eventually it's something's gonna click, it's gonna work. But I think they just like our optimism, and I think they're a good fit because they're quite optimistic as well.
Yeah, they're very positive,
Yeah. So
and we haven't met, well, I haven't met them yet, but you can feel the positivity coming back, through the phone. Tarja and Kim are both very supportive and productive.
Yeah,
and you can feel that.
And it's crazy because, like, between Taja they're both from Finland, but Taja's living in Italy, and Kimo is from Finland, but he's living in London. And then they've got the boys in America, all over America. They have a huge network. The United Music Mafia have a huge network, artists of all different genres and stuff. And I swear, bro, I've gotten to know some, rappers and hip hop artists from the label, and they're so sound and like mega talented. It's unreal. Like there was one talk of a collab with one of the boys. I had this. I don't know what's going on with it, but I wrote this like Rage Against the Machine style song, and this rapper, I won't mention his name, but like he wanted to work on the track, and so it's just, there's so many cool possibilities. Like they have a movie coming out as well, and gonna probably have track on the movie soundtrack, and there's a fight. They have a fight promotion, and we're gonna go fighting it. No, they probably will bloody ask us, but like, no, they got real fighters, like some really cool fighters, and one in particular, there's an Irish guy. I won't name names because none's been announced yet, but yeah, we could be playing as he walks out on. There's more potential in what we're doing at the minute than we can even fathom. It's just crazy, and that's all down to the amazing people that, like I said, actually are trying to help us do good.
But you were saying there about you wanted to sometimes do different stuff. When you have those potential collaborations there, just to write a guitar line for whatever it may be, you could maybe do it that way with other people, and maybe then Red Marabou and the Berserkers can focus on its sole being, and you can kind of get your outlet in different ways. Like, so that's a pretty cool thing. Like,
yeah, man, that's a really good way to put it. Yeah, like it is. There's been times, Sean, OG Big Sean Whitlow has asked me for just a piece of music for an advert, or a piece of music for any other kind of bits and pieces. I can't even think of what, but I know I've handed him a few bits, and it's just he's always got stuff coming and stuff churning, and there's this talk about this. I won't say it. I'm afraid to say it. He kicked my ass. He's a military man, like, you know what I mean, like.
Oh, fucking Full Metal Jacket shit.
Yeah, man. Like, they're badass. They're totally badass. Like, they're all super down to earth, super professional, and just down. Like, I highly recommend anybody that wants to work with them. Just for their, for their loyalty, soundness, and it's just great. It's great. And same goes for Taj and Kimo. They're always taking on bands. Mo was signed with them for a while, but he's since moved on. But they got him some good opportunities as well. Like, and it was real nice having the same manager as my good buddy Mo for a while. Which I don't know. I would love to bring it was like the Face Melter days, man. I just love bringing loads of people together, I get a real kick out of that. I sure do get a kick out of that. Just talking shit now, man. Sorry.
Oh, I understand that. That's why I kind of got into gigs, and that's why I've done so many of them. It wasn't about the money or anything. It was when you get a room full of people, like when I had Arno Core around their gig, like, the Arnold Schwarzenegger tribute band, and the place full, and he crowd slamming the people, like body slamming people into the crowd and everything. You're like, oh, this is why I do this.
Yeah. That's it, man. No, you have the real love for the scene as well, and I have much respect for you, though. For that.
Oh, no bother. We're actually, I've got a new writer in now, so he's a professional. He does stuff with Dutch print scene and all sorts of stuff. So it's given me the kick I needed, just to kind of get back doing things again, because it's not that hard. It's just about doing it, like, really, isn't it?
Yeah, sweet, man.
Yeah, we'll see what happens then. But anyways, we shall leave it on that, and we will say that Ren Marabou and the Berserkers are in a very positive space, and they've come back from a very bad place and turned it into a positive, and you've got oceans of opportunities ahead of you from what you're saying to me now. Like, this is ridiculous, like, you're getting your reward, man. You for 2 years during those lockdowns, you kept pumping out music, and now it's coming home to roost, and fucking well done, man.
Thanks, brother. Really appreciate it, man.
And thanks to everyone for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and all that. Cheers.